In this video, I wanted to go over the history of Alleria Windrunner, all the way from her beginning to Shadowlands, which is the most recent interaction that we have with her. In Dragonflight, we don't see a whole lot of her yet, but maybe in the future? With that said, let's get into it. Alleria emerged into the world as the firstborn child of Larissa Windrunner, the esteemed Ranger General of Silvermoon, and Vareth Windrunner, who held the significant role of chief advisor to Anasterian Sunstrider. Her name paid homage to her maternal grandmother's legacy. Alongside her sisters Sylvanas and Verissa, she also shared her life with a younger brother named Lyrith. Destined to continue the Windrunner lineage, she was groomed to inherit her mother's position as Ranger General. Yet, she harbored a spirited disdain for the traditional confines and expectations of the High Elves. The path set by her mother was met with unwavering resistance by Alleria. Restless within the stasis of Quel'Thalas, she yearned for exploration, longing to engage with diverse races, embrace various cultures, and rekindle ties with the humans who once aided them during the Troll Wars. Larissa remained staunchly dedicated to the Elven isolationism, believing Quel'Thalas held the utmost importance and dismissing any lingering obligation to the humans. A pivotal moment arrived as she embarked on the demanding hunt to prove herself as Larissa's heir. Tasked with tracking down the formidable spring pawn named Mauler, she ventured into the wilds of Eversong Forest. Tragedy struck as she confronted the beast, becoming the hunted herself. In an act of valor, her sister Sylvanas intervened, depriving her of the chance to claim her own victory. The discord between her and her mother escalated over time, exacting a toll on the Farstriders, which is the elite order of Blood Elf Rangers led by Larissa. She sought solace with her companions, deepening the divide between those who shared her beliefs and Larissa's loyal adherents. A climactic confrontation led her to relinquish her claim to the Ranger General title and propose Sylvanas as her successor. With Lor'themar and Haldurin's support, Sylvanas assumed the mantle, a choice begrudgingly accepted by Larissa. The eldest Windrunner was granted the task of venturing beyond the kingdom's borders to establish a presence. Before her departure, she mended her bond with her mother and cherished a final serene evening with her family. Larissa gifted her a necklace adorned with an emerald, a ruby, and a sapphire, a cherished keepsake. Departing Quel'Thalas, she embarked on her journey alongside her loyal ranger companions, Verana, Relian, Aruk, and Tathrasar. Their quest was to explore the world beyond their homeland's borders. During her absence, tragedy struck the Windrunner family as Larissa and Vareth fell victim to the Orcish horde during a diplomatic mission. The Farstriders grappled with the choice of Sylvanas or her as their leader, reflecting divided loyalties, uniting their cause and silencing dissent. United once more, the Windrunner sisters confronted the looming threat of the Horde and Quel'Thalas' uncertain stance. While Sylvanas grappled with the intricacies of Elven politics, she was unburdened by such constraints. She would march to the danger rising in Lordaeron, with or without the full support of her homeland. As the Horde's ominous presence cast its shadow over Lordaeron, the resolute Tyrannus Minethel invoked the age-old debt the Sunstriders owed the Arathi lineage, rallying support in the name of Anduin Lothar. Quel'Thalas' ruling council, perceiving the Horde more as a pretext to honor that debt rather than a genuine peril, dispatched a modest contingent of Elven forces to bolster the alliance of Lordaeron. Amidst this deliberation, she stood as one of the rare voices in Quel'Thalas, understanding the real threat that the Horde posed to her people. Driven by this conviction, she defiantly led her rangers to Southshore, aligning herself with the alliance of Lordaeron, despite the absence of official orders. Side by side with Turalyon and Khadgar, she fervently engaged in the campaign to expel the encroaching orcs from Lordaeron's soil. News of the Horde's wanton destruction along Quel'Thalas' borders ignited a resolute fire within her. Guiding the Alliance's forces, she rallied to the defense of Silvermoon City, experiencing an emotional reunion with her sister Sylvanas, as well as companions Lor'themar Theron and Haldurin Brightwing. Though Sylvanas now held the mantle of Ranger General in her stead, Sylvanas entrusted her with Larissa's bow, Thaz-Dara, recognizing her elder sister's capacity to seek retribution on the front lines. In the company of Lor'themar, she stood beside Turalyon during the relentless siege of Capital City. A turning point arrived as the Horde, their resolve waning, retreated to the south. With the threat momentarily quelled, she and Lor'themar embarked on their return to Quel'Thalas. Triumph over the Horde was attained, but the victory was marred by a grievous toll. 18 of her kin, including her cherished younger brother Lyrith, fell in the struggle. Grief-stricken, she sought solace in the arms of Turalyon, eventually bearing his child, Eretor. Section 3. Beyond the Dark Portal. To the dismay of her companions, a shadow enveloped her. After 18 of her kin, including her younger brother, whom she wanted to protect more than anyone, were killed, she was filled with a bloodlust to exterminate the orcs. Now, she saw them as nothing but vile pests in need of eradication. She made a vow of retribution and set out on an unyielding quest for revenge, guiding her and a select group of rangers through human territories in an unceasing chase of rogue orcs from the Bleeding Hollow clan. As 2 years elapsed since the war's conclusion, she stood within Nethergard's confines, Khadgar revealing the ominous expansion of the portal's rift and the resurgence of the Alliance army's necessity. Tasked with the reluctant duty, she journeyed to Stormwind, intent on forewarning Turalyon. Amidst these events, she had already welcomed her son Eretor into the world. A powerful memory was imprinted in her mind as she saw her young son in the Stormwind Keep courtyard, brandishing a wooden sword against a frog, inadvertently striking a pillar. While another mother might find the sight endearing, it weighed on her heart with a sad wisdom she had to explain to Eretor the harsh reality of war. With the rallying of orcs under the banner of Ner'zhul and the emergence of Death Knights, she resolved to lead her rangers through the dark portal into Draenor, driven by her unquenchable thirst for vengeance and a desire to halt the Horde's malevolent march. As her departure loomed, she transformed her cherished necklace into 3 distinct fragments. The emerald remained in her possession, while the ruby and sapphire journeyed to Varisa and Sylvanas, respectively conveyed by Varana, her trusted lieutenant. In swift response to the renewed peril, the Alliance orchestrated an expedition into Draenor, bestowing upon her the rank of captain as she embarked upon this new chapter. Within Draenor's harsh landscapes, an epiphany struck her, prompting her to release the shackles of hatred and mourn her cherished ones lost to the ravages of war. This transformative moment occurred as Turalyon commanded her to remain behind, but her resolute spirit could not permit the sacrifice of a young human's life. Their souls rekindled a deep connection, much to the solace of their comrades. As fate progressed, her journey became linked to the downfall of Hellfire Citadel, where she placed her trust and her forces in the hands of reliable allies. Accompanied by Khadgar and Turalyon, she embarked on a quest to retrieve the skull of Gul'dan from the clutches of Deathwing. Moments of valiant defense and unwavering resolve followed, culminating in Khadgar's sealing of the last dark portal, enshrouding Azeroth in tranquility as Draenor succumbed to a cataclysmic upheaval. In a desperate bid for survival, she and her surviving allies entered a rift to the enigmatic Twisting Nether. Presumed to have met her fate, she and her valiant companions were hailed as heroes, their noble sacrifice eternally honored. A tribute to her valor stands prominently within the Valley of Heroes, a grand statue gracing the gates of Stormwind City, a testament to the indomitable spirit that burned within her. Section 4. 1,000 Years' War. Alleria and Turalyon found themselves in an unfamiliar corner of Draenor, a realm entwined with the volatile Twisting Nether as the world neared its demise. Lothraxion, a once loyal member of the Burning Legion turned warrior of the Army of the Light, emerged to their aid. The celestial being disclosed that they were destined to fight against the Legion, and his quest was to locate them. The Legion dispatched a relentless assassin to extinguish their lives. Swift and decisive, Alleria repelled the assassin's threat, her triumph witnessed by the Naru Zira, who appeared before them. The Naru, harbinger of prophecy, disclosed a grim revelation. Although the Legion faltered in their prior endeavor to invade Azeroth, their insidious designs would soon find fruition. Driven by a longing to embrace their son Eretor once more, her resolve materialized in a plea to Zira, urging her to send them back to Azeroth to rally its fractured nations against its imminent darkness. Zira, voicing skepticism, cautioned them that their support would prove insufficient. However, fate's intricate threads intertwined, binding her and Turalyon to a higher purpose, the unearthing of the Emerald Star, a celestial artifact capable of vanquishing the Legion for eternity. Conceding to the pressing urgency of Zira's mandate, the loyal pair ventured through a portal, joining the vanguard of the Army of Light. Bound by purpose, Turalyon and Alleria honed their prowess aboard the ethereal vessel known as the Zenithar, navigating the arcane currents of the Army's dimensional ship. In a transformative ritual, Zira infused Turalyon with the boundless light, gifting him with immortality. In a touching twist of fate, Alleria's communion with the light facilitated a momentary connection with her past, granting her a glimpse of a solemn ceremony within Stormwind City's Valley of Heroes. Through the radiant channel, she sensed her son's presence and was able to send her feelings to him. Young Eretor looked around and smiled, and then reached out to her statue. a subtle connection that traversed time and distance. Now in the wiki it doesn't say exactly how she was able to sense her son, but I'm guessing it was due to while Turalyon was being imbued with the light by Zira, she was close enough that she was able to sense Eretor and send her feelings to him, letting him know that she was watching out for him and she's still around somewhere in the cosmos. Amidst their valiant endeavors, the Army of the Light ventured upon a desolate prison world, only to uncover an unsettling void that eradicated the demons entrenched within. Amidst the chaos, Alleria fell prey to the void and was infected with it, becoming a vessel for unsettling visions. A kinship with the void ignited, and she pleaded with Lothroxian for him to tell her all he knew of the void. She learned of the enigmatic Locust Walker, unveiling the intricacies of the void's paradoxical existence, a cryptic tapestry of light and shadow, truth and falsehood. Her quest expanded, her thirst for knowledge centered on the elusive Locust Walker and others of his kind, much to the trepidation of her celestial overseer. As the sands of time continued to cascade, the Burning Legion's vile grasp enshrouded the remnants of Draenor, now Outland. Within the timeless embrace of the twisting Nether, over 5 centuries passed for her, while mere decades elapsed on Azeroth. Prophecy fulfilled, she stood at the precipice of destiny, recounting her vision of traversing the Legion-infested Argus, where the Emerald Star's secret dwelled. Zira, recognizing the opportune moment, dispatched her and Turalyon on a fateful voyage to uncover the enigmatic truth of the Emerald Star. A whispered confession resonated between the two, as she disclosed that her visions stemmed not from the light, but from an unsanctioned force that defied Zira's teachings. In this instance, Turalyon was willing to accept any help to fight the Legion, since he trusted Alleria's instincts more than the teachings from Zira about not using the Void. Navigating the formidable landscapes of Argus, her consciousness was struck by revelation, an ethereal transmission from the Titan world soul bound to the heart of the dying world. The Emerald Star's insidious nature unfurled, resurrecting the Legion's fallen under its dark shield. At this crucial crossroads, Turalyon's unwavering vow to liberate the world's soul from the Legion's grasp was witnessed. His sincere promise, voiced as the fabric of destiny unfolded, resonated deeply. Enveloped by the cacophony of battle, a dire confrontation unfolded, demons converging upon her and Turalyon's transport. An onslaught bordering on inescapable defeat. In the crucible of chaos, she summoned the forbidden might of the Void, a shadowy rift cleaving the veil between worlds. An agonizing separation unfolded as Turalyon, an embodiment of light, felt his essence torn asunder while her grasp pulled him into a distant realm. Grief and uncertainty painted their final exchange, as tearful hands recoiled from a searing touch, entwined in farewell's bittersweet embrace. The fleeting portal succumbed to the shadows, transporting her to the unknown, and leaving Turalyon engulfed in a torrent of emotions. Thus captured, she found herself ensnared within the Legion's clutches, imprisoned on Niskara, a world suspended in the chaotic void. A most unexpected companion surfaced, the enigmatic Locust Walker. Through resilience and unity, they vanquished their captors, invoking the Void to forge an escape. As darkness yielded to Void, her journey of mastery began, navigating her consciousness through the shadowy expanse. An alliance with the Locust Walker ensued, imparting wisdom on the harmony between light and shadow, the enigmatic equilibrium that shaped reality's multidimensional tapestry. Yet her passion took over her originally planned destiny. A vision seized her, a vision of Turalyon locked in a sinister embrace with an Eredar, embroiled in an imminent confrontation for his very soul. Bolstered by her newfound connection, her yearning to intervene clashed with the Locust Walker's teachings. A tumultuous clash took place, culminating in her decisive strike, prematurely ending her training. Tempers flared and Locust Walker deemed her act cowardice, one marked by predictable imperfection. Amidst their bitter exchange, an unexpected revelation happened. The shadowy alliance she sought to thwart, a force that defied the light and shadow, emerged anew, a rival power entwined in enigmatic destiny. Fueled by determination, she descended upon the scene, vanquishing the perilous assassin who sought to rend her husband's essence. The Void yielded her formidable strength, cleansing Turalyon's soul from nefarious toxins. As the confrontation escalated, Zira's luminous presence manifested, presiding over the climactic juncture. Turalyon and Lothroxian's impassioned plea softened her resolve, offering a glimmer of leniency. Yet her unyielding allegiance to the Void caused her incarceration, an ordeal that etched the final chapter of her odyssey. Section 5. Warlords of Draenor. A cowled ranger occasionally graces the thresholds of players' garrisons, weaving a tale of intrigue. She extends a formidable challenge to the player, tasking them with a quest of paramount importance: the retrieval of elusive high elf weaponry, epitomized by the elusive silver-lined arrow. This coveted relic, steeped in mystique, is rumored to reside within the treacherous depths of the void-ravaged expanse known as the Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. As the player braves the perils of the burial grounds, unraveling the threads of darkness in pursuit of the puzzling arrow, the ranger's intentions gradually come to light. She reveals that the silver-lined arrow may have had a connection to Alleria, and hoped that somehow the twisting nether would bring Alleria to alternate Draenor. While that wasn't the case, and Alleria wouldn't be seen until we venture to Argus in the Legion expansion, it was the first hint at both Alleria's eventual return and her connection to the Void. Section 6. The Legion. Amidst years of relentless quests, the elusiveness of her whereabouts finally gives way to a beacon of possibility. The shadows part, unveiling a trail leading to a captured demon, ensnared within the relentless grasp of the Farstrider's interrogation. In the midst of anguish and chaos, the demon's bold admission reveals a grim reality: her existence as a captive, held in the sinister grip of Inquisitor demons on the desolate portal world of Niskara. With unwavering determination, Alleria Windrunner forges an unbreakable alliance with the Farstriders, uniting their strengths to track down the matriarch of the Windrunner legacy. A determined journey begins to take shape, composed of brave hearts working to free Alleria from the Legion's grasp before it is too late. The stakes are high, for the Legion's greedy eyes have turned to Alleria's legendary bow, Thaz Dara, a weapon of fabled might that threatens to amplify the Legion's dominance. While the echoes of battle sounding again, and Thaz Dara is rekindled, they eventually make it to Niskara and locate her bow, but Alleria is nowhere to be found, a wisp in the shadows. Aleria's tenacity prevails, birthing the conviction that Alleria, a phoenix of resilience, has defied her captors, fleeing the abyss to chart her path anew. And so the hunt perseveres, a timeless odyssey to reunite the fragmented Windrunner legacy. Amidst the cosmic upheaval, a beacon of light emerges. The radiant presence of Thaz Dara serves as testament to her enduring spirit. Hope ignites anew by the notion that she endured the cataclysmic fall of Draenor, persisting as a vigilant sentinel against the encroaching darkness. In the Chronicles of the Twisting Nether, Alleria envisions her as a celestial hunter, chasing the very essence of malevolence into its realm. An eternal saga of valor and retribution. Section 7. Argus. Just as the Zenidar was about to be shot down on Argus, Alleria's whereabouts were shrouded in uncertainty, with her last known location being a prison cell. Despite this, Turalyon held an unwavering belief in her survival. His faith was soon rewarded when Alleria emerged to aid him and an adventurer from Azeroth in vanquishing Aganar, who was a pit lord who resided in Outland before being killed at the pools that were once sacred springs the Draenei had used until Aganar was killed, and his blood corrupted the pools into what is now known as the Pools of Aganar in Outland. After defeating Aganar, a heartfelt reunion with her son Eretor took place aboard the Vindicar. Alleria expressed that every decision she and Turalyon had made was to ensure his safety, and their separation had been a heart-wrenching ordeal. With their family now reunited, Alleria made a solemn vow to prevent any future separation. When Alleria revealed to Alleria that Sylvanas was now the war chief of the Horde, she was in disbelief. The Horde's past actions against their people made this revelation hard to swallow. The fact that Sylvanas was now undead was another shocking truth that Alleria was hesitant to disclose. Deciding that such a conversation was best held in private, Alleria postponed the discussion. Alleria also shared the heroic deeds of the Huntmaster of the Unseen Path, who was the player character who completed the quest to acquire Thaz Dara, which is Alleria's bow she lost while she was a captive, during the mission to rescue Alleria on Niskara. Alleria later personally thanked the Huntmaster for their bravery. She acknowledged that while she might need Thaz Dara back one day, the Huntmaster's skillful handling of it brought honor to the weapon and its previous owners. As her own path was diverging, she gave her blessing to the Huntmaster to continue wielding it with pride. The decision was made to retrieve Xera's body, who is the Prime Naru, from the fallen Zenidar, but Alleria expressed her apprehension about retrieving the rest of Xera's body from the Zenidar central chamber, fearing the possibility of imprisonment. Despite her fears, she assisted Turalyon in the task. After retrieving Xera's body, she was present on the Vindicar when Illidan's Stormrage rejected and killed Xera. Turalyon, filled with rage, attempted to strike Illidan down. while Alleria was taken back by Illidan's immense power to destroy the Prime Naru. Sometime later, during a meeting with Khadgar, Alleria and Turalyon were informed that Daneth and Kurdran were still alive. Despite his busy schedule, Khadgar expressed his desire to see them more often. They agreed that once the battle was over, they would hold a reunion feast for the Sons of Lothar. Alleria insisted that it was Khadgar's turn to buy the drinks. Upon discovering that the Crest of Knowledge, a piece of the Crown of the Triumvirate, was inside the Seat of the Triumvirate on Eridath. Now real quick, a quick mention of what those things are. The Crest of Knowledge is an item containing vast knowledge cultivated by the ancient Eridar. The Crown of the Triumvirate is an ancient relic of the Eridar people of Argus, which was crafted thousands of years ago by the Triumvirate, consisting of Velen, Kil'jaeden, and Archimonde. Finally, the Seat of the Triumvirate is where the Triumvirate ruled over Argus. Alleria shared her findings about the area. She revealed that the darkened Naru, Lura, had become a beacon, attracting the Shadowguard Ethereals to use her void energies for their own purposes. Alleria and an adventurer journeyed to the ruins of Eridath, where they encountered Krogol being forcefully infused with the void by the Ethereals. They also met Alleria's mentor, Locust Walker, who was investigating the Shadowguard's activities on Argus. Locust Walker questioned Alleria about her use of shadow magic, especially given Turalyon's affinity for the light. Alleria retorted that without the light, there is no shadow. Upon vanquishing the Ethereals of the Shadowguard incursion, Locust Walker deemed Alleria worthy of another chance to chase her destiny. In a fierce battle with the Void Revenant, Nalathoth, Alleria emerged victorious, and Locust Walker retrieved the creature's heart, presenting it to Alleria, who consumed it. Locust Walker imparted wisdom to Alleria, assuring her that as long as she remained control over her mind, she could harness the power of the Void. He hinted at the possibility of revealing his own mastery over the Void someday before departing. Their paths crossed again within the enigmatic Seat of the Triumvirate. Amidst the clash with Lura, Locust Walker urged Alleria to tap into the power of the Void Rifts that the darkened Naru was opening. This led to a pivotal moment where Alleria absorbed Lura's essence, undergoing a transformation into a void state. Recognizing the need to explore the boundaries of her newfound power, Alleria and Locust Walker exited the seat. Later, aboard the Vindicar, Alleria affirmed her control over her new form, demonstrating her ability to switch it on and off at will. Following the imprisonment of Sargeras by the Pantheon at the seat of the Pantheon, Alleria's heart yearned for her return to Azeroth, to be reunited with her family and to once again witness the verdant forests of her homeland. Yet a sense of dread clouded her anticipation of meeting Sylvanas. She was compelled to see for herself the transformation of her sister. She questioned whether Sylvanas was still the sister she knew, or had become a creature forsaken by the light. Alleria acknowledged her own transformation, aware that her command over new powers might raise doubts about her loyalties. With much to contemplate, she resolved to remain composed and focused. Section 8. Three Sisters. Strolling hand in hand through the storied Valley of Heroes within Stormwind, Alleria and her beloved Turalyon embarked on a journey both physical and emotional. Amidst the tranquil hush of the surroundings, Alleria shared revelation that held profound significance. A family reunion, a gathering of Windrunners, beckoned on the horizon, almost suspended between hope and uncertainty. It was an endeavor fueled by a yearning to unravel the intricacies of their shared bond after the trials of time, and to reconnect with her long-lost sisters. She made a firm decision within herself, a strong resolve to let go of past trouble and find out if family bonds could withstand the stormy waves of change. Alleria bore a precious relic, a token that transcended both time and space. An emerald Windrunner locket, a tangible symbol of unity forged in Stormwind and bestowed upon her sisters. As she stood at this crossroads, the weight of her own choices and the haunting echoes of the void murmured through her thoughts. The locket, an embodiment of shared heritage, whispered a tale of past, present, and the potential future that lay before them. With grace and purpose, Alleria conjured a portal of void energy, bidding Turalyon a heartfelt goodbye. She left with him a message for Eretor. In the event that she didn't come back from this meeting with her sisters, expressing her love, all the while resisting the sinister whispers in her mind that urged her to abandon her affection for Turalyon and end his life. The meeting of sisters began with Verisa, or Little Moon, a cherished endearment that encapsulated the bond they shared. Golden tresses danced in the wind as Verisa playfully dubbed Alleria Lady Sun, a poignant juxtaposition that mirrored their past and the uncharted territories that lay ahead. The camaraderie, once forged in shared laughter and dreams, painted vivid strokes of reminiscence across their conversation. A dance of words wove tales of alliances and betrayals, of horde and alliance, of battles fought and love lost. After they talk, the two head to meet Sylvanas. They embarked on a journey to the eerie Ghostlands. Here, Sylvanas recounted the tale of Arthas Menethil, who led the Scourge to devastate the kingdom of Quel'Thalas. The Windrunner sisters were given skeletal horses by Sylvanas, aiding their mission to purge the undead they encountered en route to their ancestral home, Windrunner Spire. During their journey, they engaged in a game, One is a Lie, where each sister made 3 statements, one being false. Their path led them to Golden Mist Village, now inhabited by the spirits of those they once knew. As they defended themselves from these spectral attackers, Alleria accused Sylvanas of manipulating Varisa into assassinating Garrosh Hellscream. This happened in the book War Crimes, where Garrosh was being put on trial for everything he had done, and Varisa wanted revenge for the death of her husband Ronan, who perished in the bombing of Theramore. So Varisa asked Sylvanas for a poison to kill Garrosh, but at the last minute couldn't do it, and Varisa told Anduin, who then saved Garrosh. Sylvanas defended her actions, revealing the plot was Varisa's from the beginning. She blamed Varisa's lack of resolve for the fallout of Garrosh's actions, including the third invasion of the Burning Legion. In a fit of rage, Sylvanas unleashed her Banshee powers on the spirit, annihilating it. Alleria, horrified by Sylvanas' savagery, transformed into her void form, declaring that the sister she once knew was lost. During their argument, Varisa attempted to defuse the situation as she did when they were kids, reminding them of their mission to cleanse their home of the undead and revealing the outcomes of their game. Alleria confessed her truths. She missed her sisters and had no regrets about her long absence from Azeroth. Her lie was that she viewed the void as a gift, when in fact she saw it as a relentless struggle she was determined to overcome. Sylvanas, when it was her turn, opted not to continue the game. Alleria told Sylvanas to keep her secrets. Alleria admitted she had come to see if she still had a family, as Lyrith would have wanted her to try. However, it was clear to her that her family was irreparably broken. Alleria then created a void portal to send Varisa home before returning to her son and Turalyon. Section 9. Void Elves. In the midst of a looming war with the Horde, King Anduin Wrynn made a resounding declaration. The Alliance was in dire need of allies. Alleria, a stalwart figure among the Blood Elves of Silvermoon, took this call to heart. She was steadfast in her belief that given the chance, the majority of her kin would willingly sever ties with the Horde and rejoin the Alliance. With this conviction, Alleria embarked on a journey to her homeland. There, she met an old comrade from her Farstrider days, Lor'themar Theron. Time had transformed him into the Regent Lord of their homeland, a place that had changed almost beyond recognition. Coincidentally, her arrival was mirrored by that of First Arcanist Tharissa of the Nightborn, who was also on a quest to forge an alliance with Silvermoon. Lor'themar introduced Alleria as a hero from Silvermoon's past. After exchanging cordial greetings with Tharissa and Liadrin, Alleria presented her proposal to the Regent. Lor'themar's response was curt, his words tinged with disappointment. He had hoped that Alleria's visit was motivated by love for Silvermoon, not a task for the Boy King, as he put it. The conversation took a bitter turn, with Alleria suggesting that Lor'themar was merely parroting Sylvanas' words, and Lor'themar raising concerns about Alleria's ties to the Void and its inherent dangers. Realizing that her offer had been anticipated and spurned, Alleria readied herself to leave. But before she did, she expressed a desire to see the Sunwell once more. It had been 1,000 years from her perspective since she last laid eyes on it. Romoth was against the idea, but Lor'themar overruled him. He declared that no matter what Alleria had become, she was a daughter of Quel'Thalas. He would not deny her the chance to visit their people's most sacred site. When Alleria stood before the Sunwell, she was in awe of its rejuvenation, noting that while it was as she remembered, its energies had evolved. Liadrin confirmed that the well now sustained their people with both the light and the arcane. Suddenly, the plateau was engulfed in void corruption, summoning void beasts, and everyone present sprang into action to prevent the Sunwell's destruction. Alleria battled the creatures, including a formidable void horror named Arun the Darkener, and worked to seal a massive rift portal created by the unseen instigator of the attack. Joining forces with Romoth and Tharissa, Alleria managed to close the rift. However, Romoth, blaming her for the attack, angrily demanded her arrest as a saboteur. Lor'themar stepped in, choosing to banish her instead, as her mere presence threatened Quel'Thalas. But before she left, Alleria learned a crucial fact from Romoth. There were Blood Elves practicing the Void who, like her, had been exiled due to the danger the Void posed to the Sunwell. Alleria learned a crucial fact from Romoth. There were Blood Elves practicing the Void who, like her, had been exiled due to the danger the Void posed to the Sunwell. Upon her return to Stormwind, Alleria shared the results of her diplomatic efforts with Anduin and disclosed her newfound knowledge about the exiles. She and a champion of the Alliance then embarked on a mission back to Quel'The the Lost, driven by a sense of empathy for her kin who might be in peril due to the whispers of the Void, and the desire to bolster the Alliance's strength with their aid. Arriving in the Ghostlands, Alleria took a moment to reflect on the changes that had occurred in her homeland during her prolonged absence. She followed a breadcrumb trail of information left by Magister Umbruk, a scholar deeply fascinated by the Void and the leader of the exiles. Through this trail, Alleria uncovered various echoes that shed light on Umbruk's history and motivations. From his conflict with Romoth to his discovery of a Void world that held an object with immense power over the shadows. Upon reaching Dawnstar Spire, Alleria discovered the final piece of Umbruk's narrative and opened a portal to the world she believed he was seeking, known as the Telegrass Rift. There, she encountered Umbruk, who had heard of her own experiences with the Void and was pleased to meet her. Alleria felt a sense of camaraderie with Umbruk, a fellow outcast from Silvermoon. Umbruk guided Alleria to the artifact he and his followers had discovered and initiated a spell to unleash its power. However, their ritual was abruptly disrupted by Nether Prince Durzan. The Void infected Ethereal who had previously assaulted Alleria at the Sunwell. Durzan, with a sinister intent to corrupt the Blood Elves with the Void, initiated a ritual to strip them of their mortality and lure them into submission. Alleria, filled with fury and a desire to safeguard her kin, engaged in a fierce battle against Durzan, urging her people to resist the whispers of the Void. She also rebuffed Durzan's attempts to persuade her to surrender to the Abyss. Together with the champion, Alleria defeated Durzan and liberated her people, who had been transformed by the Void. Umbruk, now changed by the Shadow, expressed his gratitude to Alleria for saving him from complete madness induced by the Void. Alleria proposed to instruct him and his fellow elves on how to control the Void, and in return, he and their people, now known as the Void Elves, would pledge their allegiance to the Alliance. Umbruk accepted Alleria's proposition, stating that Silvermoon had abandoned him long ago, and pledged his loyalty to Alleria, who assumed the role of their new leader. Umbruk also became their primary representative to the Alliance. With a sense of victory, Alleria returned to announce her success and the addition to the Void Elves to the Alliance's forces. Telegrass Rift was established as the Elves' headquarters, and Alleria's mentor, Locust Walker, journeyed there to assist her in educating and training the Void Elves. Section 10. Battle for Azeroth. During the pivotal battle for Lordaeron, the Gnome and Void Elf forces under the leadership of Gelban Mekatork and Alleria respectively made a timely entrance through void portals, turning the tide of the battle against a formidable undead army. Alleria had a personal face-off with Thanos Blightcaller, and when she and Anduin cornered Sylvanas, Alleria expressed regret for not having eliminated her sister when she had the chance. In a bid to safeguard Azeroth and finally vanquish Sylvanas, Horde rebels under the leadership of Varrock Sourfang, in alliance with the Alliance, prepared to launch an attack on Orgrimmar, establishing their base in Razor Hill. However, before the combined forces of the Horde and Alliance could initiate their assault on Sylvanas' troops, they were joined by Alleria and Verisa. Alleria, sensing the liberation of N'Zoth, proposed that Sylvanas' army, potentially the only force capable of defeating the Old God, should be allowed to fight, suggesting that the Alliance and Horde rebels should stand down. Anduin, however, was quick to counter that Sylvanas would not fight for their cause, reminding Alleria that Sylvanas had led both fleets into Queen Najara's trap at a time when the war seemed to be nearing its end. Asserting that they could not wage two wars simultaneously, Anduin insisted that Sylvanas must be defeated here and now, before all hope was lost. Convinced by Anduin's reasoning, Alleria pledged that she and Verisa would scout Sylvanas' lines for vulnerabilities. While Alleria was ready to confront Sylvanas' troops, Varrock Sourfang, viewing Sylvanas' followers as his Horde kin and reluctant to shed more Horde blood, challenged Sylvanas to a Mat-Gara duel, meaning Duel of Honor, which traditionally is a duel to the death, but under War Chief Thrall's rule it became a non-lethal combat. However, participants can choose to forego this. During the face-off, Sourfang managed to make Sylvanas confess that she saw the Horde as nothing, leading her to quickly kill him and desert the Horde. With Sylvanas' departure, the Horde reunited, with her previous loyalists switching sides to Sourfang's revolution. With Sourfang's demise and Sylvanas no longer leading the Horde, the Alliance forces, including Alleria, withdrew from Durotar. Section 11. Shadows Rising. King Anduin tasked Alleria and Turalyon with the mission of tracking down Sylvanas, although he was initially disappointed by Alleria's lack of progress. Alleria experienced a chilling vision in which Sylvanas overpowered her using her death powers, nearly choking her to death. Alleria once again lamented her missed opportunity to kill Sylvanas at Windrunner Spire, and then witnessed the death of Turalyon and Eretor, before abruptly waking from her nightmare. She later confided in Turalyon about her visions of 1,000 futures, each more horrifying than the last, and made a solemn vow to rise above her darkest self in order to thwart her younger sister's plans. During their search, Daneth Trollbane brought to their attention that a Dark Ranger had been spotted among a group of Horde refugees in the Arathi Highlands. After securing the refugees, they were ambushed by Zun, a young orc. Turalyon managed to subdue him with a touch of humor, and both agreed to spare him when Gauzes pleaded for her son's life. Alleria, recalling memories of her time with Eretor playing in the courtyard of Stormwind Keep, advised Zun, contrary to what he had been taught, war was not about glory, but about witnessing people at their worst, and choosing to protect them regardless. While surveying the refugees, Alleria and Turalyon found that their quarry was not among them. However, Alleria's void powers allowed her to sense that Gauzes held the information they needed. Turalyon initially attempted a gentle interrogation of the orc, but after an hour of fruitless questioning, they reluctantly concluded that they needed the information at any cost. Alleria confessed her discomfort at the thought of torturing civilians, but she saw no other viable option, given the urgency of preventing Sylvanas and her followers from causing further harm after the horrors of the Fourth War. When Gauzes defiantly resisted their questioning, Alleria used her void powers to probe her memories and thoughts. This provoked Apothecary Cutley to demand that she stop. He revealed that Vizrin had sworn them to silence and had inadvertently mentioned her plan to head to Faldur's Cove to secure a boat. Upon hearing this, Alleria halted her assault and instructed Captain Celesel Nightgiver to provide the refugees with food, blankets, and any other necessities. She also ordered Nightgiver to send Cutley to Stormwind, suspecting that he might know more. Despite the urgency of their mission, Alleria couldn't help but feel a deep sense of regret for the measures she had been forced to take. Armed with fresh intelligence, Alleria and Turalyon set their course for Faldur's Cove. There, they encountered a man wielding a dagger that seemed more at home in a Forsaken's grip. When the man proved uncooperative, Turalyon restrained him with the light's power, while Alleria probed his mind. In the midst of their intense interrogation, Jaina Proudmoore made her appearance, having been dispatched by Anduin to get an update from the duo. Jaina was taken back by their harsh methods, and when Turalyon defended their actions by revealing the man's connection to a Sylvanas agent, Jaina demanded proof. Turalyon presented the Forsaken dagger, and Alleria shared her findings from the mental probe. The Dark Ranger was en route to Zandalar. Jaina departed to relay this information to Anduin, a move Alleria perceived as snitching. However, Anduin dismissed Jaina's concerns, arguing that the Horde's heinous acts, like the burning of Teldrassil, warranted their extreme measures. He reminded Jaina of her own recent aggressive stance, and expressed his continued faith in Alleria and Turalyon's moral compass. Later, Jaina hosted Turalyon and Alleria in Boralis at Anduin's behest, in case Matthias Shaw found nothing on the Zandalari coast. Their meeting was interrupted by Flynn Fairwind, who brought news of Shaw's capture by the Zandalari Empire. Alleria was quick to suspect a Sylvanas-Zandalari alliance, sparking another heated exchange with Jaina, who cautioned her against fanning the flames of conflict and jeopardizing the treaty. Jaina declared her intention to leverage the treaty before resorting to force against the Horde. Section 12. Shadowlands. In the wake of King Anduin's disappearance at the hands of the Mossworn and Turalyon's subsequent elevation to the role of Regent and Guardian of the Kingdom, Alleria made the strategic decision to relocate to the War Room within the imposing walls of Stormwind Keep. Her aim was to bolster the strength of the Alliance, which had been severely tested by recent events. Later, Alleria was among the distinguished Alliance leaders who convened with the Horde counterparts in the formidable Bolvar Foredragon at the Frozen Throne, a chillingly iconic location within the icy confines of Icecrown Citadel. During the tumultuous events that unfold in the Shadowlands, Sylvanas experienced a profound reunion with a fragment of her soul that had been lost for an agonizingly long time. Following the ultimate defeat of the Jailer, Alleria and Varisa embarked on a journey to Oribos to bear witness to Sylvanas' trial. In a twist of fate, Sylvanas found herself at the mercy of her sworn enemy, Tyrande Whisperwind. The three sisters, bound by blood and shared history, had only a fleeting moment to say their goodbyes before Tyrande pronounced Sylvanas' fate. A daunting task to cleanse the Maw and liberate all the souls ensnared within its dark depths. Sylvanas accepted her fate with a stoic resolve, sharing a final poignant glance with Alleria and Varisa before plunging into the Maw. In the aftermath, Alleria and Varisa lingered in the Ring of Transference, reflecting on their shared losses and nurturing a fragile hope that Sylvanas might one day complete her penance, allowing for a long-awaited family reunion. And that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you did enjoy. I learned quite a bit while doing this video, and I look forward to using it in the future, and along with that, it was nice to learn about a character that I really didn't know all that much about, minus the obvious stuff that I've seen her in the game, but I really didn't know much about her beside that. Hopefully you learned something as well, and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. You're doing great.